Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do a backup for your Windows-based computer. As you can see here, I'm on a Windows 7 machine. So for Windows 7, what we got to do is we'll come down here to the Start menu. Just type in the word backup. That's the quickest way to do it. As you can see, I've got multiple backup programs for different reasons on this computer. The one that comes with literally every single computer is called Backup and Restore. I believe this was introduced in Windows 7 to start. I don't believe it was part of Vista, but I may be wrong about that. But I've been using it pretty much ever since Windows 7 came out. So if you go up here to Backup and Restore, it's going to bring this nice little window up here. And as you can see, I've already got one on here. It's Volume D. That's just the name of my external drive. That's the letter that it is. So as you can see here, I'm using up a pretty good amount of space already. So what you really want to do here, and you can set this up on a schedule as well, as you can see every day at 12 o'clock is where mine is. If you're just starting out making a new one, you really want to just go up here where it says create a system image. And this will come up on a hard disk here, new volume. So it's pretty much already pointing to my external drive. In most cases, it's going to default point to that anyway. So you just click next. And then you always want to make sure that your system C drive, obviously that's the most important one. That's where you're going to upgrade. And as you can see here, we're running kind of short on space. I've been doing some of this audio and video work here. We're eating a lot of space. So my plan is to upgrade this to a 2 terabyte SSD here real soon. As you can see, this particular machine is still running a 500 SSD. So been in here almost 5 years. So it's time for an upgrade. Anyway, so it's pointing to the right thing. Next. As you can see, this backup could take up to 364 gigs of space. That's fine. Yours may vary depending on how much you got on it. So as long as the following drives, C drives there, you're good. You click Start Backup, and then this could take quite a while. I'm going to hit stop on this because I don't need one for now, but that can take anywhere from 20-30 minutes on a fast machine to several hours if you're on an old machine. Also depending if you have USB 2.0 or 3.0. I hope at this point nobody's trying to back up still using a USB 1.0. That would be horrible. So that's literally it as far as Windows 7 is concerned on that. You just simply do that, and when it's done, it's done, and it'll say right down here. I mean, here's the important part. It's going to say last backup. And you should really check this yourself at least, once or twice a month anyway. If you're a business user, you should check it at least every week. But yeah, last backup, as you can see, it was done. And then obviously you got your next backup depending on if you're on a daily schedule. For all my any business customer I work with, if they do important stuff as far as files go, which 99% of them do, pretty much just set it up for every day. Keeps it simple. If you're a residential user and just use your computer somewhat infrequently, or if you're just browsing Facebook and YouTube 99% of the time, maybe just a once a month backup might be sufficient. So everybody's mileage varies depending on how much they're actually doing with their computer. So that's really it, honestly, as far as Windows 7 goes. Windows 10 is essentially the same thing. I've already gotten this article pulled up just to kind of show you guys. I don't have a Windows 10 machine right here in front of me with all the audio setup stuff, but honestly, we really don't need it because it's pretty much the same system. So as you can see here, if I scroll down on this article, and I'll link this if you want to read this for yourself. But yeah, step one, you plug in your external hard drive, fair enough. And then in this particular article, it says now go to the control panel, and then it's called Backup and Restore. And then in parentheses, it says Windows 7. Don't worry about the label. So as you can see here, this is what it would look like in Windows 10. Backup and Restore, Windows 7. It's going to be the same exact thing. I mean, it's just literally the same thing I just showed you, as you can see right here. It says click create a system image in the upper left, as it is right there. And on the following screen, make sure your backup drive is selected, and which in this case they have a Samsung hard drive there on a hard disk, and then you would click next, just as we mentioned, and then when the backup is over, it'll ask if you want to create a system repair disk. You actually should create a system repair disk if you don't already have a Windows operating system disk handy. This is something for people I work for locally. 99.99999 bazillion nines repeating will not have a system repair disk on hand, or if they do, they'll never ever be able to find it. So but if you're wanting to restore your backup, this can come in extremely handy at times, especially in Windows 7 cases. In Windows 10 cases, many times in these days you don't need this disk per se, because a lot of that is built into the functionality of the system. But Windows 7, it was still very handy. So if you got Windows 10, it's not as important, but if you got some blank DVDs or CDs laying around, you can still make one. I do believe you can still use a CD if you're just doing a system repair disk. DVD, obviously, if you got a whole operating system disk. And then to restore the backup, as you can see, so we'll go a little further here. When Windows is in a seemingly hopeless condition, you need to get to the recovery environment to restore the image. So to actually restore it, if Windows won't boot and you have a system repair disk, see, that's where that came in handy. You insert the disk into your optical drive and boot your PC. When you're asked to press any key, pick a language. If Windows won't boot and you have a recovery drive, insert the recovery flash drive. We're really not going to get into the rest of that pizzazz in this case, but basically to restore your image, like if your computer is not booting up, typically with Windows 7 you may need the repair disk. Once you get in there, you're going to go to repair Windows, and there's going to be a recovery image option. In Windows 10 there's those same options as you can see here on the screen. On the advanced startup option, that those options are in there. Matter of fact, why don't we pull up an article with that just to be a little bit more precise. Restore image. That should get us something here. PCMag.com, they sometimes have decent articles. Yeah, they're talking about creating a system image here. System image recovery. Let's say you're in a jam one day. Yep. Update startups. Yeah, right here. This is what I wanted to show you guys right here under this advanced option. So when your computer becomes unbootable, or it boots into this recovery thing, that's where you'd go. On the very first screen you'll have some options. The very first thing you click on is advanced options, and in advanced options it's right here. It's this system image recovery. So once you click on that, it looks like it doesn't show any more pictures in this article, but once you click on that, it'll pop right up there and it'll ask which image do you want to restore, and 99% of the time you're going to choose the latest image. That's what you're going to want to go with. And then again, you just have to wait it out. On a decent computer these days, those images can be restored in 30 minutes or less many times. If it's a older machine, I've had machines sit over here where it took 3 hours to do it, but thankfully those days are sort of getting behind us at this point. It's not as bad now, just because with USB 3.0 being much quicker, a lot of machines getting solid state drives now, it definitely takes the time out of the equation. So I guess just to kind of go on a little bit of a rant with Windows 10, I think this is more important than ever before to have these image backups, because Windows 10 is completely untrustworthy as far as updates go. You never ever know when it could botch. I mean, it could literally botch anytime. I mean, I've seen perfectly good spec running computers just working great, and then poof, just not boot after a Tuesday afternoon of long updates, or one of those big new updates are coming out with these like biannual updates every year. These and I think they were going to be like anniversary updates once a year, but now they're like biannual updates, so they're literally coming out twice a year. These are huge updates. Like the latest one is 1903. I've had a few systems come in with issues there, and just once you get a fresh install, everything works. But unfortunately, there's just so many times updates cause so many problems for folks. So this is kind of one way to get out of a botched update, that's for sure. And then unfortunately, I've had machines where this saves somebody, but their system still wouldn't update right. So I mean, sometimes they just gotta end up biting the bullet and doing a full restore if they want to get the updates going again. But there's update delay tactics that you can do. I know one of those good tools is there's a tool out there called Shut Up Windows 10, which actually will work quite well to stop updates if you need it. So yeah, a lot of Windows 10 issues with updates. Any tech you talk to will verify that. So hopefully this video was helpful. I know we kind of went on a little bit of a rant there about some stuff, but hopefully that helps. And if you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll talk to you later.